No, he's gonna give the Eagles the ball play. But he wasn't hurt last year. Yeah. So last year he had slight injury, but for the most part he played. Yeah, before that, early in his career. Yo, Saquon.
All right. I've got 2 viewers. Here we go. Oh, we're up to 4. This is wonderful. Hey, Elaine Lands, how are you? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, sir. Hey, Babs. Ruth Buzzy is in the house. Harold Sanderson. I am Interstatal. Welcome, everybody to Angie's Angles, a new revamped broadcast of Angie's Angles coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. My home away from home, if you know what I mean. Sit back and enjoy. We've added some technical features. We're working on the podcast. We hope to bring you live current events as it happens in baseball. It is April the 25th in the year of my Lord, 2024. So I promised everybody that I was going to do an unveiling. This is Leaf by Oscar, and it comes wrapped in a tobacco leaf, and we're going to do the unveiling like I promised last week. And let me just get here. So what you have to do is you got to peel away the outer layer, which is a cigar leaf. You got to peel it away, and it exposes the entire cigar, and here's the wrapper. I'm not sure if you can see it with the green screen, but here's my cigar. We're going to now cut it. And we're going to light it up because everybody likes to see the fireball that I create. If you're a cigar enthusiast, I highly recommend Leaf by Oscar. So, no, Jerry, you didn't miss the yell, my friend. There's no yell tonight. Thanks, Babs. Sorry about that. No screaming intro. We're revamping a little bit. We're going with a different style. Angie's Angles, strikeouts, smoke rings, and spiritual support coming to you live from Smoke Therapy. So tonight we're going to dissect, as you can see by the new added banner, we're going to dissect Hunter Wendelstadt's ejection. Hey, Tom, how are you? Of Aaron Boone, the beloved or hated manager of the New York Skankies. Hey, John, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. So we're gonna be able to dissect what happened to Aaron Boone and Hunter Wendelstadt's lack of empathy, if you will. We're gonna dissect it into 4 segments: from the manager's viewpoint, the umpire's viewpoint, the fans' viewpoint, and the players' input viewpoint. So we're gonna start right away from the manager's viewpoint. So everybody knows Aaron Boone is a heckler, for lack of a better word. And that's about as close as Aaron Boone and I are going to get to similarities. I coached my kids in Little League. I attend Danny's games, and I'm a heckler. I'm a self-professed heckler. I heckle with the best of them. I ride the umpires more than I should, especially now that I'm part of the brotherhood. I've learned how to back off and appreciate the umpire's responsibility. However, Aaron Boone has he owes it to his team, to the ownership, to the fans, to bark at the umpire. Because unfortunately, today's day and age, and I've seen it many, many times, if you have a manager on the opposing side that's a choir boy, the umpire is going to run ramshot over that manager. He's going to make calls, and he's not going to care if that manager likes the call or not, because he knows that manager has a reputation of being a choir boy, and he's not going to bark at the umpire, thus making the umpire's job a little bit easier, if you will. So Aaron Boone started heckling Hunter Wendelstedt in the very first batter. The beginning of the game, 2 pitches in, Aaron's chirping at the umpire, and Hunter Wendelstedt shot him a warning, said, "Take it easy, Aaron. We're not going to do that today." Much like we're taught in LIBUO by Bill and Leo, they tell us not to focus on the chatter that you're getting, ignore it. If it gets over the top, give the warning, say, "Hey, we're not going to go there tonight. Thanks." The number one cardinal rule you can't do as a manager with the umpires is argue balls and strikes. So, what we want to try to communicate is, as a manager, you need to chirp, but you need to know when to chirp and when not to chirp, right? You can't just come out blaring, you stink ump. Stevie Wonder saw that better than you, ump, with all due respect to sight challenge folks out there. You just can't be a chirper forever. So Kevin Elliott up on the big screen says Boone should have been tossed on the first comment anyway. Aaron Boone is a known crybaby. There's no getting around Aaron Boone's reputation. But at the same token, Hunter Wendelstedt, in my humbled opinion, had a very, very thin skin in that game. I think he was already looking forward to tossing somebody. So Hunter Wendelstedt shoots him the warning. Aaron Boone fiddling with his fingers. "I got you. I understand." Isn't saying a word. And then the fan behind him chirps something at Hunter Wendelstedt. And Hunter, his rabbit ears picked it up and tossed Boone immediately. Of course, Boone comes, "Hey, Clark, thanks for joining us. We are Duo Interstatal." Right, and today's, and Clark, let's pull you up on the big screen. Clark Altman says, not a Boone fan, but he didn't say anything. There was a camera on him the whole time, which in today's day and age, that's what happens. You catch everything. You catch the good, the bad, the ugly. And Aaron Boone for sure didn't say a word. And then when Aaron Boone comes out and starts arguing as the manager of the Skankies, he's saying, "Hunter, I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything. You warned me. I was quiet. It came from behind me." Hunter, at his detriment, says to Boone, "I don't care who said it. You're out. You're the manager of the Yankee. Control your bench. Control the dugout. I don't care." And he physically shrugged his shoulders like he dismissed him out of hand. So this is the angle that I'm taking on Angie's Angles, explaining Aaron Boone's responsibility, his reaction. As a manager, I'd be livid. We've all had fights, whether it be with the IRS, our spouses, our bosses. If we know for a fact that we didn't do what we were alleged to have done, you're going to argue and you're going to fight that. I mean, Aaron tried to get everybody involved, saying, "Listen, dude, it wasn't me." And that's about all the manager could do in that situation. He filed a complaint with MLB Baseball, and we'll get to that later. Let's take the angle from Hunter Wendelstedt. Hunter Wendelstedt's father. Now here's a little tidbit of information. Harry Hunter Wendelstedt Jr. was his father. He was a Major League Baseball player back in our day. Everybody's familiar with him if you're a baseball fan. So, Kevin Elliott. I'm being told I need a Snickers bar, and Kevin Elliott's telling me this was a Met channel. It's baseball where my focus is on the beloved Mets. However, we're trying to tackle the current events throughout baseball, and I've done that in the past. We'll get to the Mets later in the broadcast. Hey, Mustafa, what's going on, buddy? How are you, pal? So we dissected the angle, that Aaron Boone took to profess his innocence, to plead his case, if you will, and Hunter was having none of that. Now, from the umpire's angle, which I'm qualified to talk about, even though I've only been doing it 3 years, I understand Hunter Wendelstedt's position to an extent. I don't condone the dismissiveness. I don't condone the comments, "I don't care," and that's been captured on camera ad nauseum. Hunter Wendelstedt had no right to toss Boone at that moment, in my opinion. Hunter Wendelstedt's got to be cognizant of the fan base. He's got to be he claimed it came from the opposite end of the dugout, the comment, where in fact it was right behind Booney, the fan right behind Boone in the dugout. So Hunter even had the location of it way off base. And the fact that he just readily dismissed him, didn't allow any banter or chatter from Aaron Boone, showed that Hunter Wendelstedt was looking for a fight that night. Now that shouldn't be an umpire's approach. The umpire is the ultimate arbiter. He's calling ball, strike, safe, out, fair, foul. Those are the primary rules as an umpire that you need to follow. You can't take it upon yourself to be thin-skinned and allow, hey Hunter, that ball was a strike or that strike was a ball. You can't let it affect you because that's going to happen. Now, if Booney came out of the dugout, took a step or two up from the dugout, and showed up the umpire, then you have a case to issue the warning and then potentially eject him. The fact that he gave Aaron Boone no leeway shows that Hunter Wendelstedt was beyond subpar with his performance as an umpire and his duties and regulations. So we took it from the manager's viewpoint. Now we took it from the umpire's viewpoint. Now let's handle it from the fans' viewpoint. I've taken Danny, my son, to the ball game, to the Met game, a lot of times. And when Ken Griffey Jr. came as a Cincinnati Red, we were in the stands, and that's when Jr. Turned down the trade to the New York Mets. He had an opportunity to be a Met. They had a trade all worked out with the Cincinnati Reds, and Jr. turned us down. I brought a sign. I started yelling, Griffey, go home. Griffey, you know what? And my son was like wide-eyed. He was like 5, 6 years. He's like, can't believe my father's doing this. Dad, you're embarrassing me. So as a fan, I feel you have every justification, every right to scream your bloody head off. There's no problem. You could ride the umpire until the cows come home, and that's your right because you paid the admission fee. You're a fan, and fan is short of fanatic, and that's truly what I am. I'm a fanatic when it comes to the game of baseball, when it comes to the calls, when it comes to strike zones, when it comes to this, to that. You could 100% call me a fanatic. And it's funny to watch the fans' reaction. Now, I tried to find out if the fan was ejected. I don't see any stories or any columns or articles that the fan was ejected. And quite honestly, unless he threatened the life of the umpire or those around him, there's no reason to eject the fan. He's a paying fan, allowed to voice his displeasure on the call. And that's why umpires gotta put the headphones on when it comes to the fan base. Sure, be attuned to the dugouts, to the players, whatnot. All right, Kevin, you're getting a lot of play tonight. Kevin says, fanatic or just batshit crazy. I'm sorry, Kev. Call me whatever you will, but that it is what it is. If you know what I mean. So anyway, and thank you. We're at 15 live viewers tonight. Once I finalize my YouTube channel, we're gonna go there and we're gonna ask you to follow me on YouTube and like and subscribe and like my page. But it's a work in progress, and it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but we'll see when it happens. Also, if you notice my little icon upper right hand corner of the screen, Angie's Angles, strikeouts, smoke rings, and spiritual support for Angie's Angles. Right, Clark. Thanks, Clark. I appreciate it. Clark is telling my hecklers, see, I'm being heckled by Gerard and Allen. And Clark's kind enough to tell him, go watch the draft of the Knick game. That's very funny. Clark, thank you very much. That logo is very, very on point. And it represents who I am and what I do. So I thank you kindly. So now we're going to take it from the players' angle. So I've been a manager. I'm currently an umpire. I've been a lifelong fan, and I've been a player. Now, as the player's angle, you definitely have to gravitate towards your manager and be happy that your manager has your back. You know, as much as I championed for Buck Showalter to manage the New York Mets, we led the league twice in hit by pitches by the opposing team, and not once, not one time, not 1 minute, not one iota did one Buck Showalter ever come out to argue that it was a bad pitch by that pitcher. It was intentional. Not once did he order our pitcher to hit their superstar. Not once. And he showed no passion. Buck Showalter sat there, turned red, beat red, but didn't pursue it. Didn't order his pitcher to throw at anybody. And you can't do that. Thank you, Clark. We're going to talk about apparel, and I appreciate that greatly. We'll probably start with either hats or mugs, and then we'll progress to see how my popularity goes. If you know what I mean. So, as the player, you embrace your manager. You embrace the passion that they have to protect you as the batter, the runner, the pitcher, the fielder. It's obviously a necessary tool to be a manager, but you need to know as a player when to expect it and when not to expect it. And I teach Danny this all the time. Respect the umpire's decision. It's the manager's job to argue that certain call. It's not your job. Your job is to hit the ball, field the ball, throw the ball, run the bases, and it's your job to hustle every second of every day. It's the manager's job to have your back. And one thing could be said for Aaron Boone. I do think he has his players' back. Does he cry too much? Sure. Does he chirp too much? Sure. But to know that I'm playing for a manager, that if there's a questionable call, no matter what it is, whether strike balls, safe out, fair foul, etc., my manager is going to fight for me. And my manager is going to take the hit. No player in baseball should ever be tossed because they shouldn't be the one arguing. That's your coach's job, and that's the manager's job. Now, let's digress a little bit. So Major League Baseball came down with a ruling. They talked to Aaron Boone. They talked to Hunter Wendelstedt, who, by the way, doubled down after the game. Now, Hunter could have saved face and said, upon review, and I messed up. I made a mistake. There's no such thing as 100% fallacy. You make mistakes. You're not fallacy proof. You're human. Maybe you had, the rabbit ears tuned in too much, Hunter. But no, after the game, after being talked to and watching the video, he doubled down, said it came from the dugout. I don't care if he said it or not. He owns the dugout. He's responsible for the dugout. And out he goes. It's wrong. Hey, Christina, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Adelphi University represented tonight. Thanks for being here. So, So Major League Baseball came down with their ruling, if you will, that Hunter Wendelstedt received a D rating for that game. Now, umpires, as we all know, receive ratings, and the ratings validate or grade them if they're going to be postseason umpires. If you have a consistent C or D average, you're not going to see the field during the postseason and or the World Series. Hunter Wendelstedt got a D for one game. It's kind of like last week when we discussed Aroldis Chapman getting a 2-game suspension, which was appealable. But a 2-game suspension for a relief pitcher is peanuts. It's not a penalty. Because if he pitches tonight, he definitely can't pitch tomorrow for the most part. And so what if he can't pitch the next day? It's kind of like giving a starting pitcher a 3-day suspension. They don't pitch today now for 5 days. They pitch every 5th day. So serve out the suspension where in the clubhouse, big deal at the hotel. Who cares? You're not affecting that player and you're not affecting the team by suspending him because they're not going to play anyway, if you can follow that logic. So giving Hunter Wendelstedt a D in one game when there's 162 of them. 162 games. And okay, the umpires get vacations. So let's call it 140. It's one game he got a D. He's got 139 games to get B or better, and that'll qualify him for the playoffs and or the World Series. So, I think Hunter Wendelstedt overstepped his boundaries. I'm not condoning Aaron Boone as the manager of the Skankies. We all know he's a crybaby. We all know he chirps all the time, needlessly at times. But it is what it is. So I was on the situation that happened at Yankee Stadium against the A's. I froze somehow. Okay, I don't know why I froze. And that's my assessment on that. We have an exciting moment coming up in New York Met history of baseball, and maybe not history, but for the first time in recent memory, and perhaps in my time, other than Rusty Staub, who was a pinch hitter. We didn't have the DH back in the day of Rusty Staub. One JD Martinez is making his Met entry into the lineup tomorrow night against Clark, of all people, the Cardinals. Oh my God, tomorrow's gonna be great. Clark, we should zoom in and watch it together or something. Clark's a lifelong diehard Cardinal fan. So JD Martinez, so let's have a discussion where he's going to bat in the lineup, right? I was talking to my friends in the smoke therapy lobby in terms of where they get, and one of my guys says he shouldn't enter the lineup batting fourth or fifth. He should bat sixth. Let him ease into the lineup. Keep Alonso, Beatty, and then Martinez. We're going to see what's going on. Yeah, Nick, hey, how are you, brother? Oh, that's great. You're going to the game Sunday. And I need to bring up another topic. So JD Martinez, apparently he's all healed up from his aches and pains. He's 36, 37 years old, so he's got a little hang up with the back and this and that. But he lengthens our lineup. He gives credence to our lineup. There's a lot of outs now to get of good quality ball players, and I think his introduction into the lineup is going to allow us to see more quality pitchers from the opposing pitcher. So, I'm excited. I can't wait to watch the game tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to come here to the lounge. I got to check in with Danny if he's going to be home. If he's going to be home, then we're going to do it there. All right. Danny's Road to the Show brought to you by DomScalaBaseball.com. The Longwood Lions had a rain-interrupted game the other day. They were winning against Riverhead, and the game was suspended, and it's going to pick up at 3 o'clock tomorrow out in Riverhead, and then they're going to have a semi-doubleheader. They'll finish game one. It ended in the fourth inning, so they'll finish the game out and then play their second game. We've qualified for the playoffs, so Longwood Lions will be progressing to the playoffs. So stay tuned to Angie's Angles for updates on Danny's Road to the Show, brought to you by DomScalaBaseball.com. So it's time for the prayer circle. As you know, Angie's Angles is all about strikeouts, smoke rings, and spiritual support. We're going to turn the page, and we're going to take the hat off, and we're going to start on our prayer circle. Tonight's prayer circle is covering the following people. My good friend Harold, as we pray for Dawn Squared, his wife and co-worker, both named Dawn, and his friend Ed, who is still awaiting test results and finding out what's going on with him. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Latest update is they're both progressing and taking it day by day. Linda Stein, we're praying for your dad as he faces his daily health challenges and battles. Mark Brooks, my brother from another mother, we are praying for your dad and yourself, my friend. Stay vertical. Kevin Elliott, down in Florida, we are praying for your health challenges. The Krause family, as Aubrey continues to battle her remission with cancer, that she remains so. Martha, my coworker at Adelphi University, we're praying for your rapid progress on your health concerns. Clark, your brother-in-law Brad, and your sister Tricia, as Brad battles his health challenges, and great news is reported that all the procedures and Brad is healing well. Things are going good for Brad. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for Lee's health challenges. Fred here at Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your rotator cuff surgery. Ray Capers, another Delphi buddy, we're praying as you recover from your health scare. Coach Courtney, we're praying for your brother-in-law Calvin and your sister Pat as he continues to progress on the positive note. Mr. McGowan, sir, we have your 6 as you battle the ugly C word. Marianne Bello, we are praying for you, my high school friend, for your mom as she faces her health challenges. Big John would like me to send out an intention for himself, as well to include his friend Irene and his friend Irene and Phil's grandmother, who's fighting some health challenges. Lonnie, we're praying for you. Lonnie here, Woolman at the Smoke Therapy, as he's facing some new medical health challenges. My good friend John Valenti, who I played with the Buzz back in the day, senior men's baseball. He's headed in for hernia operation. And John Valenti, who works for Newsday, we're praying for you, brother. Tom Altabano, his friend, we're praying for him. And that concludes our prayer circle for this week on Angie's Angles. I'm very interested. I know I got heckled a little bit. I want some feedback on the format. The yell might be a thing of the past, so that's going to go into the archives, I think. Let me put my hat back on so we don't look like Mount Everest. It's the 8:56 mark. My buddies are out there waiting for me to give me some backup, also some feedback on the podcast. I hope you like the technical changes we made. We got the little banner. We got the Angie's Angles. We got my logo. This has been Angie's Angles coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue. If you're in the area, please, I beg of you, stop by. Like my YouTube page. Once I finalize it, I'll put it out there. Please go like it, subscribe to it. Angie's Angles. Good night. God bless. I love you.